Did you know that there are a number of Marie Antoinette's jewels that have survived to this day, including this amazing natural pearl pendant? So, as you know, Marie Antoinette was a great follower of fashion. She loved everything that was glorious and beautiful, including clothing and jewels. In this portrait of her when she was younger, we can see that she is bedecked in jewels. She has an amazing hairpiece, including diamond earrings, and we have diamond brooches throughout. And here when we see her as Dauphine of France, aged 17, we can see her with an amazing diamond choker necklace. These jewels are absolutely exquisite. I particularly love this headpiece here, strings of pearls and fantastic jewelled headpieces. Even in later life, when Marie Antoinette was dressing more simply, her jewels still stand out, including this fantastic pearl necklace. She clearly had style, but as we all know, Marie Antoinette was the ill-fated Queen of France. In 1793, both she and her husband were executed. As a consequence of this, and even before their execution, all of their property was seized by the revolutionaries and they were sold off and dispersed. Which is why it's particularly remarkable that so many of her jewels have survived to this day. So how did they survive? Well, Marie Antoinette had a daughter called Marie Therese. And Marie Therese was the only one to actually survive the whole French Revolution. Although her parents were executed in 1793, she was kept in prison in solitary confinement for another 2 years. And she was then released in 1795 and sent to Austria, which is where her cousin, the Emperor of Austria, was living and where her mother had been born and grown up. And while she was in Austria, her cousin gave her her mother's jewels that had been smuggled out of France. They had been smuggled out by Marie Antoinette in 1791. This is when Marie Antoinette, her husband and family had planned to escape France and planned to get out of the country. And so firstly, she sent all of her jewels, or all of the jewels that she had in her possession, to a confidant in Brussels, who then sent them on to Austria. And so as a result, following the whole tragedy, this is how Marie Therese was given them. She was able to actually have something of her mother's, which I think must have been very poignant. And if we look at this portrait of her in later life, we can see that she inherited her mother's love of jewels. She is bedecked in diamonds and pearls. And so this brings us on to what has actually survived. I can't go through them all, but I'll give you a taste. We have this exceptional and highly important natural pearl and diamond pendant. This once belonged to Marie Antoinette and it could be used to be part of a necklace. It could be used as a brooch. It was an incredibly versatile piece of jewellery. We also have this fantastic double-bowed diamond brooch. This yellowy diamond was actually a later addition, but this brooch was definitely part of Marie Antoinette's collection, as were many, many pearls. So although these strings of pearls might not have been part of Marie Antoinette's collection, we know that this clasp was, and it was part of a pair. And I think that they are part of this pair here. So you can get a much better idea. And so pearls during this era were incredibly expensive, sometimes more expensive than diamonds because they are much harder to come by. And a number of Marie Antoinette's strings of pearls have survived to this day. They've been reset and sort of redesigned, but they have survived from the 18th century, which is crazy. I particularly love this pocket watch, so it opens up to show a watch, and it's absolutely gorgeous. This was once part of a Marie Antoinette's collection that she enjoyed to use. And here we have a ring with Marie Antoinette's initials, M and an A, set in diamonds and thought to belong to her. And I think it's amazing that maybe her daughter inherited this and might well have worn it as a memento to remember her mother by. And here we have a ring. This time it has a small miniature of Marie Antoinette's face and it is decorated with a row of diamonds. So after Marie Therese inherited the jewels, because she didn't have any children, she bequeathed them to her adopted daughter. Her adopted daughter was also her niece from her husband's side, and she was called Louise Marie Therese, and she was later the Duchess of Parma and Regent of Parma. And they went down through the Parma line, which is where they remained until they came up for auction.